In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, the Infinite Tsukiyomi arc continues, and so does the retelling of the battle between Naruto and Sasuke. I honestly have to admit, this was probably my favorite filler episode that I've seen from this arc thus far, and that's because it finally focused on the action. In fact, I have to say, I actually enjoyed the battles more so at the beginning of the episode than what was going on between Naruto and Sasuke at the end of the episode, which was like a composite of like multiple battles and events from the series. If you've seen every single episode of Naruto Shippuden, then this episode is going to seem very familiar to you. It was also a very easy episode to follow, and honestly, I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with the next episode, because since they're sort of retelling every single major arc, they're going to be bringing back all the villains as well as all the heroes who are still alive, and in next week's episode, we get to see the Pain arc is going to be redone, and Minato is going to be there, and I just think the prospect of maybe Pain or maybe the Paths of Pain fighting against Minato would be really awesome. This would be another really great what-if scenario. I'm actually kind of hyped to see what they're going to do with that. But let's just go ahead and talk about some of the major moments from this week's episode. The main story is they just arrived where Orochimaru is, where Sasuke is getting ready to meet him. Shikamaru and Naruto and Neji are getting ready to bust in and save the day, and Shikamaru and Neji are going to stay behind and fight against the Anbu members, while Naruto makes his way to the top of this tower and has a big confrontation with Sasuke. The first battle at the beginning of the episode is between Anko and Neji, which is a very short-lived battle, but I have to admit it has some great style behind it. What's really weird about this, though, is that Anko is actually joined by a clone of Sai, one that he actually painted himself, and as opposed to letting the clone fight along with her, she decides to outright kill it, which I think was a really bad idea, because then the whole thing with Sai attacking Shikamaru and Naruto would have been a lot more secretive, but this way they can have a more one-on-one battle, where Neji just completely wails on Anko. He just destroys her with his signature attack, hitting her multiple times, and I just don't see her recovering from any of that. And unfortunately, that's all we get to see from the rest of their battle. You also have Sai going up against Shikamaru, which again is very short-lived, with Sai just flying around on his bird, running up to Shikamaru, and of course, predictably, getting caught by his shadows. But because all of a sudden you have these clouds which go over the moon, it's not going to work anymore. And again, just like the Neji battle, they just immediately get away from this and they start to focus on Naruto, which is honestly the best thing about this episode. Before he can even get up to Sasuke, he ends up running into Yamato, who tries to suppress him with his wood powers. It does not work. Naruto transforms into his four-tailed state, but immediately goes back to his regular form in order to use his true real power so that he can confront Sasuke. This is where the episode gets really interesting, because like I said, this is like a composite of multiple battles all in one. This is like Sasuke fighting against Itachi, and Naruto and Sasuke fighting each other at the Valley of the End. They combine a lot of these events, and we also get to see some pretty decent fighting choreography between the two, although Sasuke seems like he certainly has the upper hand in the battle, which frankly I think is kind of annoying, because you have Naruto who's actually using Sage Mode against him, with Sasuke who now has the Curse Seal abilities thanks to Orochimaru, and you would think that those Sage Mode abilities might be able to trump all of that. There is something of a connection between these two abilities, so I thought they could have done something more with that, but no, Naruto gets a few good hits in, and then suddenly Sasuke tricks him by getting ready to do the big Kirin technique, where he summons that massive lightning dragon from the skies, but this is all just a big distraction so that he can actually impale Naruto with his Chidori, but Naruto decides, no, this is not going to happen, and this is when they finally start to replicate the epic battle at the Valley of the End, where he transforms into his tailed state, and then Sasuke transforms into his full Curse Seal form, and they charge at each other with the Black Rasengan, or excuse me, the Black Chidori and the regular Rasengan, except the big twist this time is right before they collide with one another, out of nowhere, I don't even know, maybe he's just late to the party, maybe he was just waiting for his moment, Itachi just suddenly gets in between both of them, and Sasuke actually ends up impaling him and killing him right there. You even have that moment where Itachi touches him on the forehead, and then he suddenly transforms into a ghost, which I have to admit was just a little too cheesy and over the top. And then suddenly Naruto and Sasuke collide, they create that giant ball of destruction, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. So, what's the rundown? on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, there was some good action in this episode. Not great action, mind you, but it had some pretty decent direction, and there was a lot of impact and a lot of speed, mostly from the first half of the episode. I wanted to see more of Neji fighting against Anko, if only for the fact that her abilities are really strange with her summoning all those multiple snakes, him knocking them away. The choreography there looked really nice. I loved when he was getting into his fighting pose. Then, of course, you have the character of Sai, who unfortunately just doesn't get to do that much in this episode. Just sort of flying around aimlessly at the beginning and then going up against Shikamaru. That's the end of that battle. The most interesting thing here, like I said, is getting to see this what-if scenario of Sasuke meeting Orochimaru and then getting those curse seal points at this point in the story. Basically, they're redoing the entire Naruto story, just sort of changing some of the events around, inserting characters who weren't there before, characters who are dead are now alive. There's just different motives, yet it's still all exactly the same. And again, this goes in line with what I've been saying with the last couple of episodes. Do you need to watch it? Not necessarily. You're not going to miss anything. The real reason to even want to watch these episodes is to kill some time before the real episodes come along, and if you're just a huge Naruto fan, you want to see how these events would play out if they were a little different. The biggest complaint that I've had with all of these episodes, of course, is just that the animation and the artwork could be better. They could have done so much more with this episode. They could have actually made this something really special, because we could have seen some abilities from both of these characters that we've never seen used against each other before, and they could have gone crazy with it, but for the most part, it's exactly what you've seen from the rest of the series, and Naruto should not have given up his Sage power that quickly. Like, he activates Sage mode, he goes up against Sasuke, he punches him, or he tries to punch him, but since it's that special frog ability, he ends up getting hit anyway, and then they have a few more scuffles, and that's pretty much it. Naruto just immediately gets rid of his Sage mode. He should not have done that, and there's really no point to it because he eventually just starts unleashing the power of Kurama, but again, you have to remember, this is a point in the series where Naruto and Kurama aren't exactly on the best of terms with one another, so Naruto can't actually utilize his most powerful abilities. He basically transforms into a raging monster, and basically it's all just a callback to their battle at the Valley of the End. Hell, even the dialogue is exactly the same. Everything from Sasuke's forehead getting scratched, all the way to Naruto claiming that he'll break all of his arms and bones and legs just so he'll drag him back to the village. He's in the same pose. All of this is going to seem really familiar. The good news is this episode was done with a little more gusto when compared to the other ones, so that definitely made it more entertaining. So this wasn't an awful episode of Naruto, it was just another painfully average one. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 3 out of 5. An okay episode of Naruto, which is definitely going to appeal to the most hardcore fans of the series. Everyone else, though, it's just really nothing all that special. But like I said, if you're a hardcore Naruto fan, definitely check out this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts about this what-if scenario, and you guys can tell me in the comments section below. Now that we've finally gotten through this whole Sasuke retrieval arc, what do you want to see from the other redone arcs if they're getting ready to do an Infinite Tsukiyomi? What do you want to see from the Invasion of Pain arc, which it looks like they'll probably condense down into a single episode? If you look at the preview, you can already see Pain using his Chibaku Tensei and summoning the moons and everything. And what do you want to see from the rest of the Infinite Tsukiyomi stories before we move into the Itachi subplot and, of course, the final arcs of the series? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. You guys are awesome. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on social media. If you guys would like to help support the channel, we do have a PayPal link in the description box below. And if you're doing any of your shopping at Amazon, make sure to use our special link. That way you'll be able to save money and you'll help support the channel without having to spend a dime. But as always, the best way to support our channel is to simply watch our videos, comment on them, and share them with your friends. So thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.